Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another video. A pretty short one today, and I wasn't even planning on uploading, but my friend Cinematic Captures put out something really cool that I thought I would share with you guys. Now, Cinematic Captures puts out some really phenomenal content. I'll get into some of that in just a minute, but you guys know, most importantly, that I really love to spotlight creations within the fan community. I know just how much effort animations can be, both in time and cost, and how risky it is to put out something like that on YouTube, where depending on how the algorithm feels, your video will either be seen or not. So it's important to me that I spotlight as much as I can. So Cinematic Captures is a really phenomenal YouTuber, and I promise I'll go on to the new content in a minute. I'll include some timestamps down below if you want to skip past some of his prior work, but I've met him in person a few times, and he's actually helped me with various projects and has created a bunch of his own awesome stuff. Recently, Cinematic Captures put together a really awesome Republic Commando animation, which you guys can find down below. And I mean, just look, it's obviously incredible. And what's interesting about a lot of Cinematic Captures productions is that he not only does things through traditional animation, but will also use emerging or new technology. I know right now he frequently uses body capture tech, which most YouTubers just do not have access to. And it's really cool how he does a lot of work through what would be sort of traditional video game style animating technologies and procedures. That's not really surprising either, because if you look at his channel, a lot of what Cinematic Captures does is captures a really high quality video game footage, like among the highest I've ever seen, using tricks within the various games, including Star Wars Battlefront 2, Squadrons, and more. And that was the sort of main thing he was doing when I met him, but he's really started to transition into these awesome animations. There are a bunch on his channel, a really cool Order 66 one, which I think is the most viewed video on his channel. But with that being said, let's take a look at Cinematic Captures' new project, and I actually talked to the man himself to get some extra details for you guys. So the new project we'll be discussing today is the recreation of a very interesting scene from one of the unfinished Clone Wars episodes. For those of you who don't know, when the Clone Wars was cancelled, there were several episodes and even arcs which were in partially completed form. Probably the most famous example would be the Bad Batch, most famous because the animation was finished and fully converted into a full episode for season 7, but there were also several other episodes which are actually a part of Star Wars canon, including the Crystal Crisis. So the scene that Cinematic Captures is recreating comes from the Crystal Crisis episode and features a discussion between Obi-Wan and Anakin. A very interesting discussion, because it actually discusses the fate of Ahsoka Tano and how it was unfair really for the Jedi to turn on her so quickly when she had served the Order faithfully for so long. So Captures chose to do this scene because he's a huge fan of the Crystal Crisis arc, and it is actually a 3-episode arc ending with the named episode, and because he enjoys the more personal conversation between Anakin and Obi-Wan. And yeah, I think when the Clone Wars focuses on those characters, it's probably at its strongest, and this is an episode which easily could have made its way, as could have the whole arc, into season 7, and that's another reason why he's recreating it, because he's disappointed that it just didn't make the cut despite being a part of canon. By the way guys, if you want to watch the episodes in their incomplete form, you can actually check them out on StarWars.com. Anyway, I'm showing footage as I'm talking, but let's talk about how Captures is going about and recreating these shots in this scene. He says this is the first project where he's been looking into doing facial animation properly, and he's using Battlefront 2 character models rigged up with certain procedures to get it animated and looking natural. One thing that I found really interesting is he's using an iPhone and its camera and the iPhone's facial capture feature as the foundation to get the sort of timing and poses right for the face, and that's pretty smart. It's almost like doing real motion capture with an actor. Now, of course, there is the disadvantage that you're not the one speaking the lines, but it's certainly a really good base to go off of, and where it's only a 2.5-minute scene and there's months of work being put into it, Captures can spend the time to go through by hand and try to make everything natural. It is fairly crazy to me that he's pretty much the only one working on this scene, and everything that is shown right now is actually stuff that only he has worked on. He is, however, getting some assistance with some technical aspects, including rigging the characters in Maya being a visual effects software, getting help importing characters into Unreal, where I'm sure he's animating them, then of course setting up some of the more complex iris and wrinkle maps, which is helping make the face a bit more realistic, as you can see in the video that he posted. He's also getting the music touched up by a composer, but aside from that, a lot of what he's doing is, you know, doing these really nuanced animations of the face, working with pre-existing assets like the ones from Battlefront 2, as you guys can see. But I mean, there's still a lot of work left. As I said, this is a long project. He's been working on this for about 2 months already, and he's not finished. That's partially because there's a lot of dialogue in this 2-minute and 30-second scene. There's a few cool environmental shots, but it's mostly close-ups of Obi-Wan and Anakin, which is probably part of the reason why he likes it so much. It's a good challenge and a good way to learn new techniques, while also helping to make these scenes, which suffer most from their kind of incomplete quality, a bit more impactful. Because when you look at this scene, it does suffer from the fact that the characters have not been fully animated yet. They're emotionless. So this is a great opportunity to add something to the Star Wars universe. So if you're interested in this project, and let's be honest, you should be, I'll include a link to Cinematic Capture's channel. Go and support the guy. He does awesome content for the Star Wars community. And while you're there, go subscribe, tell him I sent you, and check out some other of his amazing projects. Also, he is looking for some help. So if you've got any relevant skills, feel free to chip in. I can put you in contact, or you can probably find his email address. But guys, that's all I have for today. As I said, a shorter upload. I just wanted to feature something cool. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.